My name is Monica Browning. I'm the founder of Courage Through Coaching, and I'm a leadership and a life coach. What's a leadership and a life coach, you may ask? Well, simply put, I help individuals, teams and organizations to be the best version of themselves. I take people on a fun and creative journey of self-discovery and self-awareness to help them be the best version of themselves and to find clarity, gain confidence, move towards their goals and make conscious choices both professionally and personally. So I'm super happy to have been invited by CoCoon to be part of your Smart Talk series on self-awareness, and today we're going to be talking about values, which is an area of particular passion and love of mine. I'm going to share with you some of my values of courage, health and love, and I'll be talking to you about what values are, why they're important, how you can use them in decision making. So I'm really happy to have been invited to be part of this self-awareness series. I love the work that I do on values, and I use values with all of my clients, and I know that they find it very useful. Personally, when I get it right and when I'm acting and living in accordance with my values, I feel grounded, centered, I have peace of mind. And when I get it wrong, oh my goodness, don't I know it. I feel it straight away, and I can feel disengaged, unhappy with myself, disconnected. So the values work for me is really, really important and gives me a really good indication of my own self-awareness and where things are going right and where things are going wrong for me. Okay, here's a bit of a fun fact for you. I was Googling on self-awareness and what self-awareness is. Apparently, according to Google, that well-known source of information, 95% of us consider ourselves to be very self-aware. However, according to some further research I found done by Forbes in 2017, the reality is that only 10 to 15% of us are truly self-aware. So self-awareness is absolutely huge, and sometimes we get it really wrong. Our work on values help us to really get connected and be more self-aware. So core values are key to building self-awareness, and here are some reasons why. The first reason is that core values tell you what's important to you. They help you and they keep you grounded in making decisions. The second reason why core values are key to building self-awareness is that they help you to make conscious choices. If you're not aware of what your values are, you may be making decisions that you're uncomfortable with or unhappy with, and you may be disconnected. The third reason why core values are key to building self-awareness is that they help you relate to others and help you understand what motivates them and also what motivates you. And finally, the reason that core values are key to building self-awareness is that they really give you an understanding if your core values are true to you or if you are taking on other people's core values. So these are reasons why core values are key to building self-awareness. So what are core values? Simply put, our core values are what's important to us. They are our guiding principles and help us to take decisions in life. Other people call core values a barometer of meaning, guiding principles, North Star, guiding star, compass. There are a variety of words that are used to describe core values, but essentially they're important. They're what's important to you. Core values are personal to you and only you. They're unique to you and they're chosen by you. No one can impose their values on you. They're your guiding principles. Let me give you an example. One of my core values is courage. It's no surprise that my business is called Courage Through Coaching. Courage is important to me and it plays out in every day of my life. Here are some of the reasons why courage is important to me and helps me to make decisions. Courage is important to me because it keeps me trying new things. It keeps me learning and growing and keeps me slightly out of my comfort zone. It's also important to me because it enables me to speak my truth. It challenges me to keep authentic and keep speaking my truth and being honest. Sometimes honesty is uncomfortable, but my value of courage helps to keep me honest. My value of courage also helps me to help others. In my work as a leadership and a life coach, I'm called to be of service to others, and sometimes that may mean challenging them or speaking hard truths to them. That takes courage, and I have to call upon my value of courage to help me to do that. So those are just some of the reasons why courage is one of my top values. Courage is also important to me because it gets me out of playing it safe. It helps me to expand my horizons, keep learning and growing. And finally, courage helps me to face my fears. And I have many fears, just like many of us do. My value of courage helps me to face those fears and try and overcome those fears. Well, first of all, values tell you about you. They're key to building self-awareness. They help you in making key decisions and help you prioritizing when you're stuck. Sometimes our values help to get us out of the muck when we forget what's important to us. They also help you to find satisfaction and meaning in what you do. Here's a quote by Brené Brown, who is one of my idols and heroines. She's an expert in leadership, a storyteller, and has done a lot of work on values. She says, "When your actions and your decisions align with your values, you show others what's important to you, you become a good role model, and you experience peace of mind." That, for me, summarizes why values are important. When you act in a way that goes against your values, you can feel disconnected, disengaged, disenfranchised. So values are really key to helping you to live your best life. Everybody is different, thank goodness. What is important to one person may be different to another person. What's of value to one person may be different to another person. Defining your personal values and living in them is important for you feeling fulfilled and happy. Remember, values are about you, so what's important to you may not be as important to someone else. Let's take another example. Let's say one of your values is the value of adventure. However, for a lot of your life, you've been pressured by friends or family into taking a job that's a little bit more secure, stable, but you're feeling a little bit stifled and restless because you're not honoring that value of adventure. Perhaps something that involves travel, a bit more risk-taking, opportunities for exploration may be more appropriate. Conversely, if you value stability, security, the idea of traveling all the time or risk-taking may be really uncomfortable for you. So that's why you can use your values in choosing the right career, relationships, and ideas for you. So as part of this Smart Talk, I thought it might be a good idea to do a short exercise on finding your values or revisiting your values if you've already identified them. And this can be really challenging for people because it requires you to be really honest with yourself. It requires honest introspection. It's not about choosing values that you think you should have or values that you aspire to. This is about choosing values that you really care about, that are true for you. So it requires 150% honesty with yourself, with no one else. I'm going to show you a list of 53 words that represent some value. This is not an exhausted list. There are many other values out there, but for starters, this is a list of 53 words. And here's what I'd like you to do. The first bit of the exercise is to scan the list of 53 words and just take 3 minutes, so set a timer for 3 minutes, to identify the top 20 words that jump out to you. So take 3 minutes to identify the top 20 words. And these are the words that really speak to you, that really jump out at you, that you really care about, that you already know are important to you. Think about those as criteria when you're looking at those words. So the next thing to do, step 2, is once you've got your 20 words, is to group those 20 words into clusters of similar words or clusters that have similar associations for you. So try and get to 4 or 5 clusters of your 20 words. So So it could be, for example, if you have honesty and integrity in that list of 20 words, you group them together because for you, they have similarities. Equally, freedom and adventure may have similar connotations for you. So look at your 20 words and try and group them into 4 or 5 clusters that bring together similarities. The final piece of the puzzle is to pick out one word from each of those clusters, the one word that has most meaning for you, that is most resonant, that best represents what's important to you out of those clusters. Don't overthink it, just do it and use your instinct and just call on your intuition to look at the words that have most meaning for you. So you should, in theory, end up with 4 or 5 key words that are a first draft of representing your values. Congratulations, you found the first draft of your values. So sit with those words for a few days, because sometimes it takes us a little bit of time just to process these words and these values and what they actually mean for us. If you're revisiting values, see if they still are your core values that you have done before. And also see how these values have played out in your life, in the decisions that you've already made, whether it's in career, relationships, travel choices. It could play out in smaller daily decisions such as the movies that you want to watch or the food that you want to eat. So have a look to see where your values have already had an influence on the decisions that you make in your life. So sometimes I get asked, what about my organizational values versus my personal values? Here's the thing, we only have one set of values. Values are unique to us. So your values may be slightly different to your organizational values and maybe even your friends' values or your family's values. Remember that your values are unique to you and they don't change regardless of context or situation. The challenge comes in living and honoring your values when you're working in an organization that has slightly different values to yourself. Let's take an example. Let's say you're working at a company that has a value of honesty, yet when dealing with customers is only sometimes honest. Or maybe an organization has a value of safety and security for their employees if they're an outdoor company, yet when looking at the work that they do, they only sometimes honor that value of safety. How would you feel about working for that kind of organization? The same applies to you when you're looking at your core values. Are you only honoring these decisions sometimes? Honoring your values sometimes? That might make you feel uncomfortable. The challenge is in living into our values when there may be a conflict between our organizational values, our friend values, our family's values. So it's really important to be true to yourself if you want to honor and live your values. And different people have different values. Often your values determine what you do in life or determine what someone does in life. It doesn't make you right or wrong or vice versa. It's important that actually we all have different values. It helps us understand the decisions that people take and what motivates them. So this is not about who is right and wrong, but it's about choosing what is right for yourself. Decision making and core values. We've already touched on the fact that core values are key in helping you to make key decisions. How do you make decisions otherwise? Logic, you use your head, your analytical part of the brain, you use data. You may use intuition, your body, what you feel is right. Your emotions sometimes dictate how you make decisions. Your biases, unconscious, conscious biases, those are prejudices that inform the decisions that you make. But values are also key in helping you to take decisions. Knowing your core values and living up to them can help you in making key daily and life decisions. Once you're clear on your core values, decisions might be easier. However, living up to your values can still be challenging. Here's a quote by Tony Robbins that I really like. Anytime you have difficulty in making an important decision, you can be sure that it's the result of being unclear about your values. Let me share another of my personal values. I have a big value around love, and it's how I show up. One of my purposes in life is to live and to love courageously. But for me, love is not just the emotional love as you think of it. For me, love is about loving what I do, who I'm with, where I am, what I'm doing. So love is all-encompassing for me, and under that value of love also sits my values of family, friendships and connections. But love is the dominant value. When I was asked by CoCoon to do this workshop, I jumped at the chance because I love the topic of values. I'm passionate about this work and I want to share it with the world. So it was easy for me to take the decision, but then I quickly had to call on my value of courage once I had to do the video to help me to share this work with you. So thank you, CoCoon, for helping me to honor my values of love and courage. So as you make decisions on a daily basis or bigger life decisions, whether it's around career, relationships, the work that you're doing, think about how you can honor your values. The decisions that you take, are they moving you towards your values or away from your values? What's going to make you come alive? Or what's going to make you feel discontent, unhappy perhaps, or dissatisfied? Your values hold the key to helping you make conscious decisions for your life and your work. So as we wrap up this session on core values in helping you to build self-awareness, here are 3 pieces of advice and takeaways for you. The first is get grounded in your values. Get comfortable in them, get to know what your values are, or if you're revisiting them, check that they really are your values. The second piece is share your values with your friends and your family. This might be really uncomfortable and exposing, and you might feel vulnerable, but actually it tells people about you and it tells people what's important for you. And thirdly, and really importantly, here's a question for you to take away. What's one area in your personal or professional life where you can increase your success by living and honoring your values? So that question again, what's one area in your professional or personal life where you can increase your success by making a decision that's honoring your values? Thank you.